not a soldier among us. And you're the only one here who's afraid to die.
Just to be sure, there's a spoiler. The Wheel of Time Season 3, Episode 7 is the show's most action-packed episode yet, and there were a number of pivotal events to break down. Season 3's story is adapted from The Shadow Rising, one of the most beloved entries in Robert Jordan's The Wheel of Time book series. Unlike familiar fantasy tropes where the hero leaves their hometown never to return, the return to the Two Rivers is a significant part of this novel's story, resulting in one of the most complex battles in the entire saga.
The Two Rivers stands alone against the Shadow.
Perrin Aybara may not be the Dragon Reborn, but he is Ta'veren and enormously important to the overarching narrative. He leaves his hometown as a blacksmith, but returns as a Wolfbrother with golden eyes and a veteran of multiple battles against the Dark One's forces. Season 3's penultimate episode showed one of the most critical events in Perrin's story, with him proving himself as a leader and warrior in an hour-long episode focused solely on the battle.
The wheel turns, and the Red Eagle of Manetheren becomes a wolf.
Welcome to Movie Spy. Perrin's fate with the Children of the Light explained. Perrin chose to put down the axe and accept the Light's judgment. The Children of the Light came to the Two Rivers after the Wheel of Time's Season 2 ending, where Perrin killed Geofram Bornhald at the Battle of Falme. Dane Bornhald, Geofram's son, leads his army of white cloaks to Perrin's hometown, hoping to draw him out by capturing locals like Natty Cawthon. However, matters are shaken up when a third force enters the arena, the Dark One's Trollocs, led by Paden Fain, who arrived at the end of Episode 6. The White Cloaks may be extremists who consider the Aes Sedai to be evil witches, but their purpose, at least at their inception, is to defeat Dark Friends. Perrin requests the aid of Dane Bornhald in defeating the Trollocs, offering to surrender himself once the Two Rivers have been saved. Once the battle is over, Perrin commands his forces to lay down arms so he can be peacefully apprehended, staying true to his word. This is a significant moment for him, and it's inspired by his time with the Tuathan, the pacifist group who follow the Way of the Leaf. Much of Perrin's arc in The Shadow Rising is about his duality, exploring the difference between the hammer and the axe. There is a part of him that wants to create as a blacksmith, but the pattern constantly guides him toward violence and battle. Perrin must find a balance between the two if he wishes to protect his people. He chose violence against the Trollocs, but now, to keep that peace he just won, he must put the axe aside and keep his word, lest he become just as bad as the White Cloaks. How Perrin became the Lord of the Two Rivers. Perrin has claimed an unofficial title. As Perrin departs from the Two Rivers by the White Cloaks, the townsfolk he grew up with proclaim him as the Lord of the Two Rivers. Perrin's Ta'veren nature allows him to cast a strong influence over people around him, which is why his seniors were so willing to accept him as their leader. As of now, this is an unofficial title, and for it to be legitimized, it would have to be granted by the Queen of Andor. The Two Rivers is technically part of Morghos's realm, even though it hasn't been policed by its soldiers in centuries. Will Paden Fain keep his promise to Perrin? Paden Fain is still a dangerous dark friend. Paden Fain led the Trollocs to the Two Rivers, but unlike Bornhald, he wasn't there for Perrin. His objective was to destroy Rand's home in order to attract the Dragon Reborn's attention. In his defeat, he swore he would never return to the Two Rivers, which, according to the books, should remain true. The TV show could change this, but it's doubtful he'll make a return. He will, however, remain a dark friend, continuing to work against Rand and our other heroes throughout the series. It's unclear when we'll see him next in the show. One of the most shocking moments in The Wheel of Time Season 3, Episode 7, was the death of Loial. Paden Fain intended to bring more Trollocs into the Two Rivers through the Ways, but Loial prevented this from happening by destroying the Waygate from the inside. As we saw, Loial himself fell into the depths, and characters later in the episode proclaimed him dead. We even heard an account from his book, which he had been writing about his journeys with Ta'veren. Loial's death may come as a surprise to book readers, as the character survives the Shadow Rising in Robert Jordan's novels. Funnily enough, The Wheel of Time Season 1 already faked viewers out with Loial's death. Then he turned out to be fine in Season 2's premiere. The TV show might have killed off Loyal for good this time, which is potentially the most enormous change to the source material we've seen so far, given how critical he is to so many books. Why Aram was exiled from the Tuathan. Aram killed a Trolloc in self-defense. Similar to his character in the books, Aram found himself parting from the Way of the Leaf in the Wheel of Time, Season 3. Though he firmly believed in the pacifist ways of the Tuathan, he found himself in a dire situation where he had to choose between his ideals and the life of a baby. And his own, of course. As we saw with Rand's ancestor in the Rudian visions, choosing violence, even for the right reason, has resulted in Aram being exiled from his people. Aram will now stay in the Two Rivers as the new blacksmith. Eamon Valda's death and New Aes Sedai setup explained. The Cawthon sisters killed Eamon Valda. Eamon Valda has been one of the most dangerous Wheel of Time villains since Season 1. He's among the worst of the Children of the Light, with an affinity for bloodshed and torture and a profound hatred for the Aes Sedai. Despite arriving in Eamon's field to help defend the village, Valda attempted to turn on them by killing Alana, the Aes Sedai, as she was recovering from a spear wound. He was there to help, but took the opportunity for a cowardly kill on a weakened foe. Luckily for Alana, the young Cawthon sisters were there to protect her. The two were shown to have impressive access to the One Power, and the preparation scenes earlier in the season showed Alana beginning their training. The girls are still far from being full-fledged Aes Sedai, but this scene shows their raw power, burning the malicious White Cloak to a crisp. Eamon Valda is another character in the Wheel of Time show who was killed prematurely. Thanks for watching.